Hey guys, Jen and I need your help. We've run into a little problem. With older stoves comes, wear and tear. This stove was in really good shape when we got it, but we found out a little issue with it this year when we started up. This stove is from the 80s. I think it was actually manufactured in either 1980 or 81. So like I said, it's 45 years old. It's pretty simple. It doesn't have catalysts or have different converters in the top that exchangers in the top that re-burn gas. All it has is a baffle to kind of keep the flames out of the chimney pipe, and then a flapping door right here on the side to damper it down. But this baffle is supposed to be straight across the top. It must have got too hot and warped down. I believe this is a cast iron baffle. There's just a couple screws holding it in, or a couple bolts, one there and one there, and then it sits in a little channel in the back. You can see those two little tabs holding it in. I put this brick in here to keep the flames from completely flying up into the chimney pipe. But since we've been burning this year, this is actually starting to crumble. Here's the problem. This is a Hearthstone stove, soapstone. The company's Hearthstone. The material is soapstone. It's made with these nice soapstone tiles, real thick, looks like inch and a quarter tiles or stones. This has actually gotten a lot of wear and tear from us putting pots on here over and over and over. This one is cracking just slightly. Not unsafe, but not as pretty as it used to be. We put this stove to hard work for 4 to 5 months a year. So not only do we have a little bit of wear and tear here on the stones on top, I'm sure those could be buffed out and made to look new again, but interior wear and tear. So these soapstone tiles, I'm not sure if they're cemented in. I feel like they are. They have to have some kind of fire brick cement around them or adhesive to keep them in place. So I've never disassembled one of these stoves. I don't know how easy or hard it is to take apart, but that baffle should come out of there pretty easily if it'll fit out the door. The little bit of research I did on the forums said that baffle can just be removed. The problem is getting one. The only companies that have them or make them, they're about $600 just for that piece of metal that's, that shape. And the ones I saw online don't even look similar to that one. They fit the part code, but they look like they're a two-piece baffle. So it kind of concerns me. I don't want to order something that expensive to fix this stove if it's not the right part. I need some help. What do you guys think? What would you do in this situation? Again, we paid $500 for this stove about, 5-6 years ago. We've been using it pretty heavy ever since the cabin's been, dried in. We used it to heat the cabin while we were doing everything here of building. It's been our full-time source of heat. We have the mini split for supplemental heat in the spring and fall now, but that's only been around for the last 2 years. And we're using that right now just to, like I said, I wanted to let this die down, clean it up a little bit, and do this video for you guys and ask for your advice. I've heated with other style stoves. The other stove I had was built in the 90s. It's a steel stove, not cast iron, but steel. That stove was a fairly inexpensive stove. I think I bought it for $250 off of a buy site like Craigslist before Marketplace was a big thing. And that stove was really good to us for a lot of years. We were heating our home full time before we had any experience with this stove. Parts on that are just bricks inside. You can add and remove fire bricks as they break or deteriorate or need replacing. This baffle is something that's new to me. So I need your advice. What do you think we should do? Should we consider upgrading stoves? We really like this stove. It fits the color scheme of everything here. We don't want to replace it. Do you think it's safe to use like this? When we did our wood stove clean out video in the fall, there was a lot of ash and additional material in this horizontal pipe. And I'm thinking that's the culprit. That's kind of how I came to this, that's kind of how I found this issue a few months ago. It's been burning fine. We just make sure we damper down our stovepipe damper as best we can to keep this from getting hot again. And that's how we control it now that this is slightly damaged. So not only are we having that, I don't know if that's considered maintenance or damage, but that baffle is crumbling, falling apart. This stove has never been real efficient. That's one thing with newer stoves. They're more efficient, but I feel like from the little bit I've heard people talking that newer stoves are high maintenance. They need parts replaced every few years. They get clogged or they need cleaning. This stove, like I said, other than this baffle issue we're having, there's not a lot to go wrong. So has anybody used a wood stove like this or similar old school stove where that baffle isn't even in there, where the fire can go through the chimney pipe? Like I know old Franklin stoves and old cast iron style stoves, they never had any baffles of any sort. It did just literally dampen it down to restrict the airflow, and no baffles at all. So my impression of what happened here was the fire got too hot. Possibly, you can dampen your stove down and keep the temperature to a moderate 400 or 500 degrees. I'm feeling like the stove got too hot, and this is why this happened. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a maintenance thing or an age thing. Maybe that cast iron is just aged and been slowly drooping, and that's why I didn't notice it until this year, where it's just finally getting to the point where it's in the way. Let me know. What do you guys think? I need some help from you guys who've been doing this stuff and burning with wood for many, many years. Would you fix this? Would you invest $600 or more to replace this baffle and keep this stove? This is a very high-end stove nowadays. Stoves like this to replace are $5,000 to $9,000. I'm not going to be spending that much money. I'm going to look for something used or possibly like a less expensive style stove, like a steel stove made out of, thick steel. I've never owned a cast iron stove. The old school cast iron stoves, like the potbelly stoves, I've never owned and used one of those. I know that those are prone to cracking. I feel like that's what happened with our baffle here. Is this as big of an issue as I'm thinking it is? What would you do? Is there anybody that watches our channel that is a metal worker? What do you think we could do? Or could you help me? This stove does have its little quirks, broken little things, has little broken handles. The ashtray handle doesn't latch anymore, so I have to prop it up. This stove has its other quirks. The glass is a double layered glass, so I don't really get a good view of the fire. It's dirty in between and etched. It's fire etched. There's other reasons I would consider upgrading this stove. I don't want to. I don't want it for many reasons. One, we really like the appearance of the stove. We don't want to invest more money, but if we're going to be burning a fire here for the next 20, 30 years, we need something that's reliable and something that's safe. Last thing we want to do is burn our cabin down. We like the ashtray. I don't know if any of you guys have had the ashtray in the bottom where you could just pull the tray out from underneath. All the ashes go down. You don't have to scoop it out, put it in a bucket. Other stoves that I've worked with is, you have to scoop them out. You have to let the fire die completely out. That's not the case with this stove. We can continue to burn a fire and clean out that ashtray at the same time. I know a lot of you guys have commented over the years that you love our stove. You've actually, it's motivated you to look into and inspired you to buy one of your own. So here it is. I'm learning. I hope you guys aren't having the same issues. If you are or have, let me know. We're just kind of stuck here between what do we want to invest in? Do we want to get a brand new stove long term? This heats our space very well. This stove is probably overkill. This is probably a stove meant for a 2,000 square foot space. We only have 500 square foot here. So it really cooks us out. It doesn't seal up great. I replaced all the seals on this stove, but because it's an older stove and parts aren't really available, it doesn't seal up airtight as much. So again, not as efficient. We burn more wood than we would if we had a newer stove. Give me some advice in the comment section below. How are the new stoves? More maintenance than it's worth? Is it more trouble than it's worth? So one of the huge benefits to this soapstone stove is it retains heat really well. It does take a little while to get going and actually produce some heat in the building or in the cabin because it has such high thermal mass. You know, that stone takes a while to warm up, but it does retain that heat through the evening when we're sleeping. So in the morning, the cabin isn't quite as cold. If we do replace this, one of the things we will have to be sure of is that we have a nice flat top so we can put our pots on there so we continue to melt some water, cook on it occasionally. And we're going to melt snow and get water. That's going to be just a design thing. But what do you guys think? Is this worth fixing? Does anybody have any connections in the wood stove world that you can lead me? Links, people who build stuff for these, anybody that can help, I would appreciate it. This stove has been great to us. Just, you know, nothing lasts forever. So let me know what you think. If you have questions, let me know. Let's share them with other people here that are watching. Maybe we can all help each other out if you've run into this problem before, or just wood stove maintenance or questions in general. Guys, we're also trying a new fire starting material. Another YouTube channel here on YouTube. Outdoor at the Morgans has this fire starter that they make and sell. Mike and his son. And Jen bought me some to try it out. So we're going to try it out today. Well, that started pretty easy. Alright guys, so that fire starter, I guess the whole selling feature or selling point is that you don't need kindling, but I have kindling and old habits die hard, so we had started up. It lit really easy, I like that. So guys, let me know what you do in this situation. I know a lot of you probably have even more experience than I do with wood stoves, different varieties of stoves. If there's someone here that can help me out in any way, let me know, please. Sorry we don't have a big project for you today. We went to town, got some laundry done, got some materials. Like I said, let this fire die out. You know, figured I'd see if you guys could help me out with the wood stove. And tell me if you think this is safe to use or not. We've been using it for a couple months, but I've been kind of leery of leaving it unattended and been trying to watch it as best I can. So, all right, guys. Well, we appreciate you hanging out with us, and I look forward to your comments in the comment section below. Best wishes, and we'll catch you in a few days on the next video.